Good evening, folks. Ken Hovind here in the crew at Dinosaur Adventureland in Lenox, Alabama, 2023. Tonight on our Friday night, Making Babies, the clubbed wing Manakin. I had never heard of a clubbed wing Manakin. How many of you had never heard of one till just now? Wait till you see what they have to do to attract a mate to make babies. We'll get into that in just a minute. We are at Genesis Baptist Church, where God for His creation. We're on Rumble, Kent Hovind Official, and YouTube, Genesis Baptist Church, and a couple other sites. There's our church building, Genesis Baptist Church, and we're in it right now. You can help us stay open for free. We don't charge anything. Got a groups coming all the time. We just want to win souls. Go to drdino.com, DRDINO, if you want to help us, and no super chats on YouTube, okay? CSE, that's Creation Evangelism. All right, our video series on Science in the Bible, 18 hours. This has got, Sandra, how many of these have we sent out, do you think?
That's your biggest seller,
thousands of them just in the last few months. You know, it helps many people come to the Lord. Okay. Let's see. And then we have, right here, our series on what on earth is about to happen, about the coming, I think we're in it, the tribulation. Whoa, what on about to happen? It's going to get really bad. Watch the banks collapse. Do you see the video where there's a stores now in Europe, no cashiers? When you walk in, you put your hand on a scanner and it registers your number, and then you walk around, pick up whatever you want, and walk right out, and it registers everything. They take it out of your bank account. It's coming, folks. You won't be able to buy or sell without a mark. It says so in Revelation. See, God knew that a long time ago. I said it 2,000 years ago. Coming. Okay, Missionary Day tomorrow, St. Patrick's Day. If you want to come, we honor missionaries. Anybody missionary for the Lord, come on down. We'll treat you like royalty here if you're a missionary. Okay, then April 1st, major holiday, April Fool's Day. If you believe if you're an atheist, you're a fool, okay? We're going to honor you. Come down April 1st, and we'll have you a nice steak dinner and wonderful lunch for everybody and give you the tour of Dinosaur Adventureland. God says if you don't believe in God, you're a fool, okay? And then April 16th, the anniversary of this property, less than a month away. Now, 7 years ago, that we came here to a big mud hole, nothing here, and God has blessed amazingly. All this stuff been built. Awesome. Come, if you ever helped us or supported us, come on back and help us see what's going on. And then nothing in May so far, no special. June, boot camp. Got 4 speakers lined up now. Got to get the names on the chart here. But boot camp, come on down for Dinosaur Adventureland. God said He blessed them and said, be fruitful and multiply. First thing God said, go have a bunch of babies. And probably the greatest desire He gave to every species on the planet is to accomplish that goal, okay? Be fruitful. He blessed them and said, be fruitful and multiply. Fruitful and multiply. Go have a bunch of kids. They did, okay. So God made man in His own image, male and female created He them. Male and female, male and female. Wow, you mean there's only 2? God doesn't know there's 57 genders? God, what's wrong with you? He doesn't even know. Wow, okay. Male and his female. Male and female. I think it's pretty clear. Jesus said the same thing. No, not a problem. Okay. So, God, in His infinite wisdom, to make babies. He also gave each the needed equipment and the drive. And just to confuse the atheists, I think God gave an amazing variety of ways to do it. So they cannot explain them with their stupid theory of evolutionism. They have no excuse on Judgment Day. The variety of ways animals make babies is stunning. God gave the command to make babies. He gave the equipment and the drive. Did that just evolve too? What if they had the equipment but no desire? What if they had the desire but no equipment? Huh? Amazing variety of ways. You know, the theory of evolution is stupid, real stupid. We're going to help you tonight. We talked about the anglerfish. I asked you how that happened. None of you atheists answered. Come on now, bring it on. We talked about the tardigrade, the honeybee, the watermelon, the starfish. Nobody answered. See, the genetic code that they're passing on has been passed on a whole bunch of times. You can't pass on computer code very many times before it just degrades into unusable stuff. The quality of representation when copying degrades quickly. Pretty soon, you can't see it. Original, there's the 25th copy. And you and I are how many generation copies off of Adam? And still works. Wow, pretty good. Generational degeneration. Look at that. Went from here to you can't, no, bad. 90 generations. Data loss clearly nearly complete. And you evolutionists want to say this has been going on for billions of years, millions of years? And you're how many million copies from that amoeba? And the data, amoeba learned how to get lungs and bones and heart, and it improved. Copying a YouTube video 1,000 times is a descent into hell. I don't think it's quite a descent into hell, but it does fall apart, that's for sure. So, genetics, the genes, nucleotide sequence and gene organization of the starfish. Pretty complicated. And it got copied all those times and stayed a starfish. I think you guys have incredible faith. Starfish, the panda bear, and the meerkat all have the same number of chromosomes. That's proof they're related. Nobody can tell the difference between those three. You take those three to any zoologist, he'll say, I can't tell which one's which. They can't tell. Any real science guy can see the similarity between the chocolate chip starfish, the meerkat, and the red panda. I mean, obviously, look at them. They all got 36 chromosomes. Everybody knows they're related. 480 million years ago, the starfish evolved. If that's true, they're the 240 millionth generation. And it still moves, reproduces. You guys are insane. See, God made everything about 6,000 years ago. And the starfish we see today and all the animals we see today are about the 3,000th generation. The praying mantis we went through, the mud skipper, the beavers, the frog. Nobody answered. The ant, the octopus. How did that learn? To evolve the ability to reach his third arm with the sperm up into her nostril, her left nostril, deposit the sperm. And then he dies. So he can't teach his kids any of this. Who taught the kids what to do? When our lamb was born last week, I was up there just a few minutes later. Lamb was standing up, looking at the table, and look. Who taught it? When a beaver, you can take a baby beaver, smother when it's born, raise it in a cage with no contact with other beavers. Let it loose in the wild, it knows how to make a beaver dam. Where is this information being stored in the DNA, guys? Come on now. Okay, the sponge, nobody answered that one. The barnacle, the flytrap, the flatworm, the needle-beard sea devil, the blue-banded goby, the electric eel, the seahorse. Where are you guys? The banana slug? Tonight, the clubbed-wing manakins. This little bird, there's about 12 different varieties of the manakin, and they probably had a common ancestor called a manakin. I'd like to know how they evolved this amazing ability to do what I'm about to show you, okay? You guys think they have no designer. You need to go back to school, right? 8 of nature's wildest mating rituals. One of them was the clubbed-wing manakin. This bird, when he gets ready to look for Mrs. Manakin, he bends over, sticks his wings up, and flaps them through 6,000 times a minute. 6,000 RPM. Over 100 flaps a second. I would say that would take some muscular coordination, wouldn't it? How did they adapt this? This bird, let me play just a brief clip of it here and listen to it for yourself. Let's see, right here. That little hum you heard was probably 500 vibrations of his wing bones rubbing against each other. The clubbed wing manakin. And then he hops to the left and hops to the right. Somebody at Berkeley University did a whole study on how far they hop and how often they hop and think that's proof they evolved. I'll show you. That's bird language for come here, honey. Anyway, how did this happen? How did this evolve? I really would like to know, guys. You're not, let's see, next one. Okay, good. Strikingly large, rigid secondary feathers together. They rub them together at incredibly high speeds, 107 times per second, to produce a bright buzzing sound telling the females they're ready to mate. The clubbed wing, the wing has looked like a end of it, and they're rubbing these clubs together over 100 times a second. Did these special feather clubs slowly evolve over millions of years before there was any use? What if the male evolved these clubs and went around and the female said, "What are you doing? You're weird, man. You are a screwball." Did she get interested in it before he had the ability, or did he get the ability before she got interested in it? Or did they both evolve at the same time? Those little clubs on there, they bang them together against each other and produce this high-frequency sound. Come on now, how did this evolve? Did the bird slowly evolve over millions of years, capable of shaking those feathers 6,000 RPM before the female showed interest in him? I bet the rest of the birds probably think they're dumb. Bend over, we lift your wings up and make a weird noise, and the rest of the birds fly by. Oh, what's wrong with this guy, you know? But Mrs. Clubwing, oh, wow, there he goes, honey. Wow, play it again. What a beautiful song. Yeah. Do they ever get tired of being required to bow to the evolution religion in order to get published? So you can't get published unless you bow to that religion. A mysterious case in evolution. Do evolutionists ever wish you had the freedom of religion to peek outside the box and say, wow, this sure looks like it was designed? Don't you ever wish you could say that? I know you get kicked out of school, get your degree, and you won't get published. I know, lose all your funding. I know. Okay. Evolutionary science. Two words that should not go together. We like to think that traits evolve to serve adaptive function, since the traits must benefit the species. Oh, let's see. For example, the teeth of the horses evolved so the horses could adapt to a grass-fed diet. See, you have to bow down to evolution or you don't get published. The colorful and ornamental plumage of males in many bird species is an example of one of these traits. Even though colorful plumage is more likely to put the bird in harm's way of predators, male birds need colorful plumage to attract the female. So they got a problem. Look, if I get colorful flowers or colorful feathers, all the animals can see they might eat me. But I got to have the pretty feathers to attract the girls. Man, what to do? Get that car with the big wheels. It's going to take my whole paycheck, but it'll attract. You really think this evolved? As a result of sexual selection, so we got artificial selection and sexual selection. A male must exhibit this trait if he wants to find a mate and pass on his genes. It's important to note that colorful plumage does not directly decrease the bird's level of fitness, but it might make it harder for these birds to survive to adulthood because they're more likely to attract predators. So they got to have the pretty wing, pretty colors, and make the weird noise. That also lets the predator know right where he's at, doesn't it? Now think about it. You got to do that to attract the girls. Got to have a stutter to get in. Let's put the really big one. What kind of car is that? A Fiat. You know what Fiat stands for? Fix it again, Tony. Yeah. How about gold? That'll attract them, won't it? Yeah. Gold shirt, gold necklace. That'll attract them, right? Doesn't that gold make him just want to go up and kiss him? So some people do to attract attention. That was me, my high school graduation picture. Yeah. How about the big house? That'll attract them. How about the fancy car? That'll attract them. See, the birds got these fancy colors and make these noises to attract. Look at our peacocks out there. Is that beneficial for the peacock to have that giant tail? Well, it attracts the girls, but I think it attracts attention too. Some female birds will only mate with the most ornamental, colorful birds. The alleles for these traits must be selected for if the species is to survive. Only male birds exhibit these unique traits, so it seems clear that ornamental, colorful feathers are sexually selected. In this case, sexual selection selects for traits of aesthetics, but this trait does not really increase the bird's level of fitness. Is it possible for certain traits to evolve for aesthetic needs and decrease the fitness of the species? On last week's episode of Radio Lab, they discuss a bird species that has an interesting trait that seems to have been selected for aesthetic reasons only. Unlike other bird species that have hollow bones in their wings, the clubbed wing manakin has solid bones. Solid bones are seemingly non-adaptive for birds since solid bones are heavier, and this makes it harder to fly. Boy, they must really want the girls. Hard to fly, make a lot of noise, attract attention. However, the males use these bones to rub their feathers together really quickly and produce a sound that attracts the females. Only the males that produce the nicest sounds will attract females to mate with. Even though solid bones might put the birds at risk since they can't fly as well, a male must exhibit this trait if he expects to find a mate. So he wants a girl worse than he wants to live. What's especially interesting about this case is that the female clubbed-wing manakins have solid bones too. It seems the trait is so strongly desired by the females that they select to have solid. They chose to have them too. Okay? It's their choice, right? Even if it will decrease the fitness for their male and female offspring. It's possible. You see how these authors have to give evolution, or it doesn't get published. If you dare to question evolution, they just won't publish you. Will they? Try it. They did not realize they would be transmitting this trait to their female offspring. I don't think birds realize they're transmitting traits to their offspring. They're bird brains, okay? The solid bones begin to form while the bird is only an embryo, before the sex of the bird is determined. In any case, this certainly appears to be a strange case of sexual selection. It is the ulna of the male white-crowned manakin, which doesn't have these solid bones, are solid, heavy bones in the wings. In the wings of all places, that makes it harder to fly. And yet they can flap them 6,000 times a minute. Not flap them, rub them together. It's so fast, it makes a humming sound. You heard. Understand, from Berkeley University, understanding evolution. How the clubbed-wing manakin got its groove. First-hand observations in the field. Some lady did a study on this. Kim suspected that the complex mating rituals evolve in a piecemeal fashion. So the mating rituals involve bending over, sticking their wings up, making their noise, and then hopping to the right or hopping to the left. So she studied the hopping and the wing noise and the color of these birds. Probably a grant to do all this, okay? She suspected that the complex mating rituals evolve in a piecemeal fashion. She selected characters that represent outstanding character of the Manakin mating ritual, sound type, movements, etc., instead of an overall measure of ritual complexity. In addition to these behavioral traits, Kim included anatomical characters that allow wing noises, such as feather shape and bone thickness. Here's her chart. The clubbed wing. Does he go backward in his dance? Yep. Does the Michael Jackson, look like you're going forward, but really going backward? Yeah, he's good, okay. Side to side, oh yeah, he makes big hops. That's important. She doesn't like the guys who make the little hops, okay? He has enlarged club shape and very stocky solid. Wow, boy, she likes that. Then we got the fire-capped manakin and the striped manakin and the red-capped manakin and the golden head. Some have big hop, big hop, big hop. Some have medium flight, short flight. She studied all this, and she concluded that all the manakins have a common ancestor, and they're related to mosquitoes and whales and frogs. That was her conclusion, yeah. Some of them don't have a big hop. No, the white-tailed, he's got a big hop, okay? Small hops, big hops, normal hops. Okay. By mapping traits onto the phylogeny, Kim could reconstruct the evolution of different elements of the mating ritual. She figured out which evolved first, the hopping or the club wing. She's pretty smart. Kim's really smart, okay. She applied the principle of parsimony to determine which characteristic states are homologous. Who share a trait and are their closest relatives. It's more likely they both inherited the trait from a common ancestor, then independently evolved the same trait. Under the principle of parsimony, maps the minimum number of characteristics. See, parsimony is the principle stating that the simplest explanation accounting for the observations is the preferred explanation. And so rather than the most complicated, whoever's got the simplest explanation probably has it right. I got a real simple one. God designed. Simple. They don't like that one, do they? Implies we should prefer the phylogeny that requires the fewest evolutionary changes. We don't see any evolutionary changes. Okay, anyway. So the closest relatives got to have the same trait. I see. The principle of parsimony. They're more likely to represent the true evolutionary history of the lineage. I see. So she looked at, let's see, they show a pattern of evolution consistent with the traits that we observed in manakins. But mapping B requires 2 evolutionary changes. Oh, so if the quill knob evolved first, then that's a simpler explanation than if the quill knob evolved later. So did the knobs evolve before the hop or the hop evolved before the knobs? I bet you got a doctorate degree for this, okay? So the knobs of the clubwing, fire-capped, and striped manakins are likely to be inherited from a common ancestor. So they must be more homologous. They're more similar. So she looked at, let's see, do they backwards dance? Do they backwards dance? Oh, they lost it. Look at that. All the ones with the letter B, the white-crowned Manakin, he lost it. He can't dance no more. Lost his groove. This poor guy. Side to side. Does he give a hop? No, these guys lost the hop. If it's got a B in front, there it is again, the white-crowned Manakin. He lost the hop and he lost the move. I bet they're still making babies, though, aren't they? Anyway, let's see. Short hops, evolved into flight. So they quit hopping and learned to fly. How did you learn that, Ken? Let's see. Short hop evolved into a big hop. Oh, see. Now the clubwing Manakin, he's the only one that evolved into a big hop between the wings, okay? The short flight evolves into longer flight. Whoa, E. That's only the golden Manakin. Yeah, they're no good. Don't eat them, okay? Let's see. The phylogenetic analysis makes it that neither the intricate mating ritual of the clubwing Manakin nor its crazy wing sound and corresponding morphological oddities evolved in one swoop. Wow. Kim concluded they didn't evolve at the same time. Congratulations, Kim. Here's your PhD. See, first you get a BS, and we know what that is coming from Berkeley, and then you get an MS, that's more of the same, and then you get a PhD, that's piled higher and deeper. Yeah, okay. So she studied all this stuff and concluded they evolved. Parsimony. Here's real parsimony. God made the fowls. Look at that. God made the fowls, the birds. God made them. He said so a bunch of times in Genesis. And he made them bring forth after their kind, after their kind, after their kind. That's all we've ever seen. Animals bring forth after their kind. After their kind, after their kind. It's in there 24 times in the first 7 chapters. So let's see. There are 10 species of raven. They might have had a common ancestor called a raven. The stork after their kind, the heron after their kind. Wow, locusts after their kind. I think God wants us to understand they're always going to bring forth after their kind. 72 species of herons. We got some living out here. They might have had a common ancestor called a heron. How many kinds of heron? Varieties. Wow. See all those herons right there, boys and girls? That's proof they're related to frogs and mosquitoes. That's the good thinking these evolutionists do. They see the varieties and go nuts over it. God said they'd bring forth after their kind, or 2 of every sort. It couldn't be more clear in the scripture. Kind after their kind after their kind. I mean, come on, guys. That's all we've ever seen. That is science. To imagine that they're related to everything is not science. 12 varieties of Manakin. Do you really think seeing 12 varieties of Manakin birds is evidence that they're related to fish, spiders, and frogs? Do you atheists honestly think this evidence from going from a short hop to a long hop is evidence they're related to frogs and fish? Come on now. How can you believe that? Why can't you marvel at God's amazing design? I look at just the tail of a lizard and say, that's amazing. Follows Fibonacci sequence like the shirt my wife got me. Fibonacci is all over nature. The golden mean ratio. Google that, okay? Do you really believe this happened by chance? Nobody designed it. Yeah, nobody made that. Actually, that came from a big bang. A dot smaller than a period exploded. Rapidly expanded, faster than the speed of light. But it's not an explosion. It's a rapid expansion. Okay. Yes, Ken, all life forms came about by blind random chance for no reason with no designer. You really believe that? The bacteria, all the eukaryotes, prokaryotes, all related. Oh, yeah. Beam me up, Scotty. There's no intelligent life down here. Look at that. Nobody designed it. Nobody. Nobody designed it. Huh. Yep. Nobody designed it. Come on now, guys. Some of these Judgment Day, when God got you on the witness stand, and the snail going to testify, Lord, this guy studied snails, got a doctorate degree in snailology, and still believes we happened by chance. There's no hope for that guy. Look, nobody made that. Happened by chance. A face only a mother could love. Huh. One guy told me that one looked like his mother-in-law. You really believe this happened by chance? Really? Beam me up, Scotty. No intelligent life down here. I don't understand, you evolutionists, how you can sleep at night. Do you not realize you believe something really dumb? You don't even think about it. You really just fell for it. You got taught it in school, so it's got to be true. Nobody made it. Nobody made it. Just happened by chance. I don't know how to help them. I try. Okay? Making fun of you because it's really dumb. Okay? Nobody designed any of that. Romans chapter 1. The wrath of God is revealed from heaven against all ungodliness and unrighteousness of men who hold the truth in unrighteousness, because that which may be known of God, we can't know everything about God, but which may be known is manifest in them. God has shown you that he's a God of order and design. Look at anything. Look at anything out there created. The invisible things of him from the creation of the world are clearly seen, being understood by the things that are made. We can look at the things he made and understand some things about God. Even his eternal power and Godhead, so they are without excuse. There's going to be no excuse Judgment Day. When they knew God, they glorified him not as God, neither were thankful, but became vain in their imagination. Their foolish heart was darkened. Professing themselves to be wise, they became fools. Let's see, Smithsonian. Whoa. The Smithsonian said, since they take fruit in flight, similar to how other birds catch insects. See, the manakins take fruit with them when they fly, and other birds catch insects right out of the air. So that's proof manakins are believed to have evolved from insect-eating birds. These are people at the Smithsonian, supposed to be smart. Manakin birds, bones and muscles. See, not just those bones, they got to get muscles that'll go 6,000 RPM. You do physical therapy, what's the fastest? How many times can you flex a muscle before? Not 6,000 a minute. Nobody can. Try it. Open and close your hand 6,000 times a minute. Try it. The Manakin birds have evolved bones and muscles. See, they cannot give God the glory. Jesus healed some people and only one came back. There are not found that return to give glory to God, save this one stranger. I decided a long time ago, I don't have a problem giving God glory. I can look at the Fibonacci sequence, the golden mean ratio found everywhere in nature, and say, man, God, you're smart. Wow, I can't wait to go to heaven and sit down and learn a bunch more from you. But you guys think it all evolved. I'm trying to do this series on making babies, and you're getting a giant F-. You haven't answered any of the questions on the quiz now. How did this evolve? Come on. How did it evolve? Give me a scientific answer. Okay, sorry we're not live. We post it right away afterwards, but it'll be live. But if you have any questions, send them in. If you think you got an answer for the Manakin, watch. Randall, in the comments, instead of answering my questions, they'll go off into something else. Don't they? Every time. Hovind, you had a hair out of place. Yeah. Oh, look at the squirrel. Yeah. Come on, stick on the topic, guys. Come on, stick on the topic. Any questions or comments from here? All right. We'll see you Sunday morning for the book of 2 Thessalonians. We'll be in there. No, yeah. 2 Thessalonians chapter 1. No, 1 Thessalonians chapter 5. You'll get confused in your